Now, other items in your cabin, besides the wonderful things such as extra storage, your cabin is not going to come with a clock. I have yet to hear anybody say that they've encountered a cruise ship where there was a clock. I recommend that you bring with you a battery-operated travel clock. We went, as we were cruising, we went through a couple time zones, and so I just kept this updated at night. You know, your little cruise planner that they give you in the day told us, okay, at night you need to roll your clocks this direction or this direction, and then we use this as our alarm clock to wake up. So the other nice thing is when you're in port, if you are not on a cruise ship sponsored port leave trip of some sort, adventure, it is your responsibility to make it back to the cruise ship at the designated time. Those times change at every port you're in. Could be 4:30 in the afternoon, it could be 3:30 in the afternoon, it could be 4 o'clock, it could be 6 o'clock. It's always going to be different, and it is your responsibility to make sure you make it back onto your cruise ship on time. If you booked your day trips through the actual cruise line, they're not going to go anywhere without you. But if you used an outside company like we did, because it's cheaper, note, it's cheaper, and you don't get back on time, the cruise ship will leave without you. They will not wait for you. So unless you've got a watch on that you're keeping updated with cruise ship time, you can bring something like this with you to keep an eye on your time and make sure you are back to your cruise ship, because there's really nothing worse than coming back to the port and seeing your ship already pulled away from the dock and steaming away, because then you are responsible for finding your way to the next cruise port and getting back on the ship. So that's really scary, and it has happened to people. So super cheap, easy travel clock. There's millions of options out there. I wanted one that was easy to see, had a really good nightlight, had a good alarm. So this was an Amazon purchase. Next thing I recommend are these. What are these, you say? Well, as you're cruising into your port, could be very pretty. These are very inexpensive binoculars. We were, again, like I said, cruising in Europe, and I did not want to take my full-size monster binoculars. For one, they're huge and would take up a lot of room in my bag. Two, they're heavy and they would take up my allotted amount of weight on my bag checked through the airport. So I got these on Amazon. They fold down super easy. They worked really well. Now, they're cheap. I mean, these aren't meant to be like everyday binoculars for the rest of my life. These are meant for traveling, and you know, the fact that they're small, they pack away, and they're easy to use. So we, as we would go into port or out of port, if we were kind of cruising along the coastline, these were wonderful to be able to get a really good view of the countries that we were coming in and out of. So they pack down, like I said, they got a cute little travel case. There's a little belt loop if you wanted to have them on your belt, but I just tucked these into my bag, or had them, you know, within reach, or stuck in there for use, and used these a lot. Loved them, was very happy I had them. So, you know, depending on your destination, what kind of cruise you're going on, if you think there's going to be sights to see where you might need these, they had pretty decent reviews for cheap binoculars, and I got them on Amazon, so recommend that. The next thing I recommend is getting back to the idea of having some trouble with storing things. This was recommended to me by a friend of mine. We didn't actually end up using these, but I bought these pop-up mesh hampers. I actually bought 2 of them, brought them with us. We ended up deciding not to use them, but they're really good, especially I think if you've got like a large family. If you've got like a family of 3 or 4 that's cruising, you can put all your dirty clothes in here, and then if you're going to be using the cruise ship laundry, you've kind of already got things situated, like all the dirties will be in here. These are really nice. As you can see, they fold down. They pop up to good size, as you can see. I got these at the Dollar Tree. I looked at I think Dollar General, they didn't have these, but Dollar Tree had these. It was either there or it might have been Walmart. Now that I think about it, this could have been Walmart. But, you know, do a little shopping, look at Target, Walmart. Think about the size that you need. I went for the larger size because I figured we would use one, maybe two. Didn't end up using them, but came close. So it says it holds up to 3 loads. I just like the feature that it folded down really easy, and you know, it breathes. So if you've got wet clothes that some of the kids are throwing in the hampers, you're not going to get that musty, gross smell because they should dry out. But this is a consideration. Not every cruiser might need these, but if you've got a large family, this might be something for you to think about, especially if you're not packing a whole lot and you're thinking you're going to be doing laundry through the cruise. This is a wonderful option. So the other thing you want to remember, and this touches on my hat, when you're out at sea, even if you are not really sitting in the sun, the reflection of the water, you are going to be constantly getting hit by sun rays when you're out on deck and the sun is up. So I packed a lot of sunscreen. Make sure you pack something like a sport one like this that's water resistant if you're near the pools or swimming. Make sure you're packing something specifically for your face, even if you're wearing a hat, because again, even if you're in the shade and you have a hat on, you're going to get the reflection of the sun off of the water, and you can get burned. And the worst thing in the world I think that could happen would be if you got really badly burned on your first day of a wonderful summer vacation cruise or winter vacation, and you have to hide from the sun for the rest of your trip. That would be pretty awful. So make sure you pack a couple of options for yourself, whatever works for you. I like a mineral sunscreen on my face because I don't like the chemical sweating into my eyes. And then like I said, I recommend something that's for sport because it's going to be somewhat more water resistant. It'll last a little longer. Just remember to reapply it. You know, the UVA protection in these only last at most 2 hours, and if you've got water and sweat, it's going to be less, which is why this one says it's water resistant for 80 minutes. I would probably plan on reapplying, and I think I did every hour. So a mineral sunscreen will last a little bit longer, but you are going to need to continue to reapply that as well. So definitely suggest lots of these, especially if you end up forgetting them on deck or you lose them somewhere. Maybe you're in a port and you lose it on the beach. Have a couple of them with you. And then this is going to be dependent on where you're going and what kind of a destination you have, but you might need to bring some bug spray. You know, if you're cruising to Alaska and you're taking some day trips or something, there could be bugs, or, you know, anywhere really, there could be bugs. You might need to bring some sort of bug spray. So it's something to consider. Depends entirely on your destination. So it's food for thought. Getting down towards the end, I discussed this in a previous video, but so we cruised to Europe in summer and we were fairly far north. We were in the Baltic Sea and the sun did not set until about, well, depending on the time zone we were in, it was after midnight or after 1 in the morning. And then it came up at about 2 or 3 in the morning. So it was kind of hard to sleep if you're a light sleeper like I am. So I recommend these for if you're a light sleeper and you need kind of that darkness to actually get some sleep. These also work really well, as I discussed in a previous video, for getting some sleep on the airplane, wherever you're flying in and out of and to and from. So not going to hit that too much, but I got those off Amazon. Other things that you need to consider are when you are in port, safety for your personal belongings, safety for your credit cards, safety for your money, your passport. I actually discussed these in another video, so I'm not going to go through them too quickly here. There's a lot of options you can use. Make sure you elect for RFID, which is radio frequency identification. Make sure that you have RFID blocking. For whatever you pick. This is a passport holder and money holder. Again, I went through this in another video, so I will link that down below in the description box. But things to think about, just remember there's pickpocketing that happens in every cruise port. It's just, you're a target because the locals know you're here to spend money, you've got things on you. So, and on that note, I did discuss this bag. This was my day bag. This is called, it's a TRAVELON is the company. I did do a pretty in-depth review on this in a previous video, which I will link below. You know, you're going to need something for your day bag, something to put your money in, your sunscreen, your rain gear potentially, you know, your binoculars, your cell phone or camera. So this was really good. This ended up as my personal item for my airplane. You can, you know, my airline that we flew allowed one personal bag plus a carry-on, and then we had a checked bag. So this fit into the very unique requirements on sizing that the European airline that we flew on required. So I really, really recommend this company, TRAVELON, for a lot of security measures. So it's cut resistant. It has some locking features. Check out my video, again, link below. It'll discuss this more in general, but these are some of the recommendations I have for you in that regard. And then finally, I recommend that you get a really good carrying case and bring with you an extra pair of sunglasses, because there is nothing worse on a trip, especially if you're in a sunny location like out in the ocean, out on a sea, and you break your sunglasses. You might consider bringing with you a glasses repair kit. You can get kind of the El Cheapos from like a Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, Target. You can get a little bit more elaborate repair kits online through Amazon, or at least bring with you an extra pair of sunglasses. That's what I did. I brought actually, I think, 3 pairs of sunglasses because I am notoriously hard on my sunglasses. And then I had this as just a nice, cheap, hard case to keep my sunglasses safe when it was in my bag. I got this, you know, at like Five and Below for probably $2 or something, maybe $3. It's not a great case, but you know, if I smashed it, crushed it, lost it, broke it, I really wasn't going to be too upset about it. So, and then of course, make sure that you have some sort of hat or something to get yourself some sun relief, both when you're in port and when you're on deck, because like I said, it would be pretty miserable to get a pretty bad sunburn your first day or second day on your week or 10-day cruise, to where you can't really be out in the sun because you're fried. So sunscreen, sunglasses, sunshades, and you'll be fine. So that's kind of it for what I'm going to talk about today. There's lots of other options. Many of you are obviously cruisers, probably cruised well more than me. So comment below and give us your best tips that you have, what to bring, or what not to bother bringing. I guess my not to bother bringing tip is don't overpack. Consider where you're going, what you're doing. They do have onboard laundry. Sometimes you can wear the same set of shorts or pants 3 or 4 times with different shirts, so you don't maybe need tons of different types of pants or whatever. But give that a consideration, because I think a lot of people tend to overpack, and it's going to depend on your destination. We were going to Europe, we were going to Russia, we were going to go to the Russian ballet, so I had to pack I didn't pack a formal gown, but I packed what I would call a cocktail dress. It was a black cocktail dress with some jewelry to dress it up with. And then guys, check with your cruise line. Guys can rent tuxedos through the cruise line. So that's what my husband did. He rented, I believe women, they can rent you dresses as well, but and shoes. Men, he was able to rent his shoes through them as well. But I think for women, we have a hard time with that. Finding a dress that is the color we want, that fits the way we want, for our body styles and types. I think we don't have the tendency to do that, but for guys, it was so easy for him. I mean, they provided everything. All he had to do was, you know, his undergarments. So shirt, cummerbund, tie, tuxedo, everything. Shoes were all provided for a really reasonable fee. He had it for the whole week. So he was able to use it for formal night, for a formal dinner night. And then we also used it for, like I said, the ballet. So that's my tip to you. Don't overpack, but consider what you have going on in your cruise and what you might need. So just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like this video, and please remember to subscribe, click the bell for notifications on uploads for my next videos. And I hope you all are going to have a wonderful, wonderful day and a wonderful week. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.